All right. Shalom.
Shalom.
We're going to start off by giving all praise to Yahweh. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. And we also want to give peace and salutation, as always, to the elect, which is the house of David. All right. Starting with the 144,000, all right, under Hamashiach and King David. All right. And the rest of the nation whom the Lord will have mercy on, according to as it is written. All right. The Lord will have mercy on whom you will have mercy. That's the rest of the men, women, and children whom the Lord will have mercy on. And through those, that will be the remnant who will establish everything in righteousness. All right. As Noah established everything after the flood, the elect, according to the promise, will establish the new world, all right, which is the kingdom of heaven, with the law, statutes, and commandments at the forefront of the culture that the whole planet Earth, all of the heathen will be forced to follow through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. We're here through the spirit, all right, to bring out the true story of what this Bible is talking about, because for years you've had this atrocious, low base religion in the form of Christianity that has pushed the narrative about the Bible that isn't true. It just isn't true. Okay, when you go into what they're saying, it totally contradicts, and it acts as a God over the Most High. It tells the Most High what he's gonna do instead of him what he said he's gonna do. Okay, and that's the clash. And now this word has been going out on the internet, and at first they ignored us, and they laughed at us like those bums. But now, all right, they're addressing us. They're about to attack. So you have particular pastors who have been given the assignment to basically come to us, all right, in a roundabout way. At first, they're gonna, try to act like, they're talking about something else. But now you see T.D. Jakes going into the olive tree. When has a nigga ever went to the olive tree? Niggas don't even eat olives unless it's on a pepperoni pizza. The olive tree is the farthest thing away from a nigga's mind, man. But now all of a sudden, T.D. Jakes, big sweaty black ass, and yeah, we're gonna mock you. Okay, we're gonna mock you. And at the end of the day, because there's a lot of people amongst the Christians who, some of them are gonna convert. All right, but you better get out of your feelings, man, because this Bible ain't a book of emotion, man. This is a book of truth, man. And T.D. Jakes, Eddie Long, Creflo Dollar, Joel Osteen, all of them are lying, man. We're gonna get to the covenants, as you see the title. The promise is dealing with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Go ahead.
Okay. This is a quick one. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 4. For if he that cometh preached another Yahushua, whom he hath not preached,
another Messiah. Read that again.
Con. For if he that cometh preached another Messiah, whom ye have not preached, or if you receive another spirit which ye have not received, or gospel which ye have not accepted, you might bear with him.
Right, you might bear with him. When you read the Bible, there's a particular theme, there's a story. All right, and it's dealing with the relationship between the Most High and his chosen seed. That's right. Okay, the sons of God, whom later on became the Israelites, princes of the power. Okay, through the promise made through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which we'll get into that. Okay, because people read this Bible and they try to go to the New Testament and establish a foundation on Jesus. All right, but they try to separate that from what was already written in the Old Testament. They'll say the Old Testament is done away with. When there's promises that haven't been fulfilled that were promised in the Old Testament. So as the scripture says, what is that, Matthew 11 or Matthew 13, a scribe that is instructed, bring out things both.
Matthew 13,
52, I believe. Yeah. 13:52 brings out things both old and new. Right. You can't take away the what was written in Genesis and separate it from what the Messiah's job was, and that's what they're doing. All right. Let me know what you got.
I got it. This is Matthew chapter 13, verse 52. Then said he unto them, therefore every scribe
which is instructed unto the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which bring forth out of his treasure.
A householder. And what are we the house of David, man. All right, we've been charged. It's good. I have one another.
Okay.
We've been charged, all right, with being the priest under the order of Melchizedek to offer up those spiritual sacrifices, which is our soul, which is our spirit, man. Okay, unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, read that again.
Matthew 13:52. Then said he unto them, therefore every scribe which is instructed into the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which bringeth forth out of his treasure things new and old.
New and old. All right, the only thing that separates the Old and New Testament is the sacrifice made by Hamashiach Yahushua. All right, because under the Old Covenant, all right, the sacrifice was to be made through animals, through particular things on the earth. But Yahushua Hamashiach was the sacrifice of sacrifices. All right, so let's go ahead and get Genesis 12 or Hebrews 11 and 9. Hebrews 11 and 9. Because we're just going to get into the promise of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now, if you notice, T.D. Jakes, when he talked about this, he stopped at Isaac.
He stopped at Abraham. Abraham.
He stopped at Abraham. You see, he just said Abraham. Right. But he forgot about Isaac and Jacob. So we're going to go into the Bible and show you these are key things that you have to establish. Brothers who are watching this video, all right, whoever, all of us in here, understand that we're bringing this out to show you what's written in the Bible. See, we're not crazy, brothers. They're trying to, now we are crazy in a sense, we're fools for Hamashiach's sake, but we're telling the truth. We're going to go into the Bible and show you that the promise was only to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and that seed line. Okay? Go ahead.
This is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 8. By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place where he should have to receive for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out not knowing whether he went. So like that was this verse 9. By faith, he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob.
Well, Isaac and Jacob, meaning they were covered.
Right.
The tabernacle represents a covering. All right. And when Abraham believed and was given that promise, it wasn't due to his works. It was due to something that was already ordained in the heavens. You see?
That's right.
And through faith, him believing that's how we're going to be brought unto that promise, through that same faith, man. God. Not through us keeping the laws perfectly, which under the covenant given to Moses and the Levites, that was the standard of you getting back to the Most High. All right, but the elect getting back to the Most High is something that was written from the foundation of the earth. As it is written, the Lamb was slain from the foundation of the earth, meaning the elect was sealed from the foundation of the earth. Man. Okay, and that's the gift given to the elect. They're covered, okay, under the faith of Abraham, man. All right? Yeah.
When he go into the previous verse where it talked about how he had went, I'm going to just read it again really quick. It says, by faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should have received for an inheritance, which we understand what that place is, around that time he was told to go to the land of Canaan. Right. You know, that's our eternal inheritance. Okay, that land has been blessed since the foundations of the earth. Right. Right. It says, obeyed, and he went out not knowing whither he went. So he was guided out there by faith.
Right, and that's how we are.
Right. Right.
We just pretty much given up the little so-called lives we had, and we just going on with faith, and we're seeing it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Gone. Verse 9 again.
Just quick precept.
Yep.
This is Hebrews chapter 6. I'll read verse 17 and 18. It says, wherein Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, willing more abundantly to show unto the heirs of promise the immutability of his counsel, which that word immutability literally means the unchangeableness. All right, the unchangeableness or immutability of his counsel, confirmed it by an oath, that by two immutable things, which immutable means what? Unchangeable things, in which it was impossible for Yahweh to lie, we might have a strong consolation, who have fled for refuge to lay hold upon the hope set before us, man. So the Lord, he's not a liar, man.
Right.
His counsel isn't going to change, man. His counsel never changed.
Right.
The oath and the promise that went through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to the 12 tribes of Israel is going to stay the same forever, man.
Right.
And the 12 tribes of Israel are on the planet Earth. They are here today, and they consist of the majority of what you would see as the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man.
That's right.
That's who the promise goes to. Point blank, period. Man.
That's right.
That's it.
And you will have Israelites who look like the other nations too.
God, exactly.
All right. We're balanced. All right. This is not a thing of skin color. It's a thing of, like TD Jake said, covenant. You're right. It's a thing of the covenant who the Lord made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob,
Right.
and their seed. Okay.
That's right. This is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 9. By faith, he sojourned in the land of promise. He sojourned, and the Lord just guided him there.
The land of promise, man. And that's the promise. And even when you look at Ezekiel 36, the Lord is always talking about placing that seed back in that land.
Right.
You see? And
Right.
we get that.
God.
That's it. Go ahead.
As in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles was Isaac and Jacob.
Isaac and Jacob. So Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's the seed who's under that tabernacle, who's under that covering, who has that protection,
Right.
who has that hedge. No other seed. Okay? Not everybody on the earth comes out of Abraham.
Right.
Okay? That's a,
The heirs with him of the same promise.
the heirs with him of the same promise. Now, this is out of the New Testament.
Right.
That's why I wanted to start there. You see? Because you cannot read Galatians, Romans,
Right.
Acts without understanding Genesis, man.
Right. That's right.
Without understanding the foundation of the Bible. See, and this is where you guys lose. And this is where we win, because as the elder Yatazak says, we deal with the whole scroll. We deal with the whole roll. You people want to throw away pieces of the roll and try to start a foundation on a part of the roll. It doesn't work like that. You'll run out of precepts.
Right. Right.
And then eventually you'll just start speaking out of your emotion in your heart. That's up. Go
I
ahead.
got a precept.
Yeah.
This is Sirach chapter 44. I'm gonna start at 19. It says, Abraham was a great father
There you go.
of many people, and glory was there none like unto him.
Right.
Verse 20, it says, who kept the law of the Most High and was in covenant with him.
Mhm.
So he was in a contract with him. Okay. It said he established the covenant in his flesh, and when he was proved, he was found faithful. Now we just read what Hebrews 11 and 9 by faith. Okay, because you being proved shows your faith. Okay, so verse 21, therefore he assured him by an oath that he would bless the nations in his seed,
Right.
and that he would multiply him as the dust of the earth, and exalt his seed as the stars, and cause them to inherit from sea to sea,
There you go.
and from the river unto the utmost part of the land.
Right.
Verse 22.
Though Israel shall be as the sand of the sea,
Right.
the only remnant of the elect shall be saved. Go ahead.
That's right, verse 22. With Isaac did he establish likewise, for Abraham his father's sake, the blessing of all men in the covenant.
Yeah.
Verse 20. And made it rest upon the head of Jacob.
Right.
Man.
He acknowledged him in his blessing and gave him an heritage,
Right.
and divided his portions among the 12 tribes. Did he part them?
There
Right.
you go.
You know, that brother's
There
got it.
you go. And that's the brother. We have GMS Atlanta here. All right, shalom to those brothers, and may the Lord put a heavy portion upon the head of that camp and the rest of them.
That's right.
That they prosper and remain through all of the hell that's coming, as well as all of the camps, man. All of the elect brothers who are serious, man. All right, through the Spirit, may they endure, man. And the Lord bless you, brothers, man. Because we're a small number amongst a multitude of idiots, man. The mind frame that we have is very, very important, just like the mind frame that Noah had was very important. And this all goes back, all right, when the Lord flooded the earth, what happened? You had, he saved Noah and his sons, right? And those women. Okay, so there was from that point going forward, although this goes all the way back to Adam. Adam was given the laws.
Yeah.
All right, Adam was given the law. There was a covenant made with Adam and his family line. All right, and then through Abel, who was slew, then through Seth. Okay, and all the way up to, all right, all the way down to Arphaxad. Oh, you had Eber and Arphaxad, all the way up to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is the story of the Bible. And what we're proclaiming is that we're that seed. So go ahead and go to Genesis 9 and 8. Just read that, then we'll jump to the point in 26. And somebody get Genesis 12 and 1.
This is Genesis chapter 9, verse 8. And the Most High spake unto Noah,
Right.
and to his sons with him, saying,
Right.
And I beheld, I established Salaki, and I behold, I established my covenant with you, and with your seed after you.
Right.
And I'm gonna jump down.
With his seed after him. Now that was talking about the covenant that the earth wouldn't be flooded.
Right.
But even deeper than that, the chosen will come through Noah, through who? Shem. Shem, which means what? Name.
Right.
Which means the Lord's name is going to be placed upon this particular son, and we're going to prove it. Go ahead.
This is
Genesis 9 and 26.
It's Genesis 9 and 26, and he said, "Blessed be Yahweh, power of Shem."
Power of Shem. Did it say power of Ham? Did it say power of Japheth? Absolutely not. And when they got off the boat, Ham had got it on, so Canaan was there.
Right.
Did he say, "Blessed be the Lord of me"? Ham got it on the boat. You know, Ham's nasty, man. He'll figure out a way to bust a nut. But at the end of the day, all right, he didn't say, "Blessed be the Lord God of any of the other sons." He said, "Blessed be the Lord God of who?"
Shem.
Go ahead.
And Canaan shall be his servant.
And Canaan shall be his servant.
Right.
All right. So the going on now that we established that, we're going to go to Genesis, the 12th chapter. Okay.
It's Genesis chapter 12, verse 1.
All right.
Now Yahweh had said unto Abram.
Right. And what were they passing down to one another? The laws, the customs, the ways in righteousness. Because remember, Noah offered a sacrifice when he got off of that boat, man. You see? And that sacrifice is a part of our culture, man. That was a part of what the Lord wanted to be done through this particular people, man. No, that's proof that Job was of the chosen seed.
Exactly.
Okay? Even if he was around before Israel was called the Israelites, he was of that chosen line. Why? Because he offered up sacrifices. As a matter of fact, get Genesis 9 and around 20, where he offered up the sacrifice and the Lord had mercy. Genesis 9.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Maybe 18.
This
20. Go ahead.
is Genesis chapter 9, verse 20.
Right.
And Noah
That's going to be playing the vineyard.
Or is it 8 and
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
I'll start at 8 and
Okay.
20.
This is Genesis chapter 8 and 20. And Noah built an altar unto Yahweh,
This is when he got off of the boat. He built an altar. Go ahead.
and took every clean beast
Uh-huh.
and every clean fowl.
Right. He knew the law.
Right.
That covenant was with him. That covenant wasn't with Noah and the rest. I mean, Ham. He didn't pass that down to Ham. He passed those righteous ways down through Shem.
Right.
See, this is the story of the Bible. That's what we're going into. Go ahead.
And offered burnt offerings on the altar.
Right. He offered burnt offerings on the altar. He was a priest. So Job offering up sacrifices and cleansing his sons will mean that he was of the chosen line, man. Stop being stupid. Now, let's get Genesis 12 and 1.
It's Genesis chapter 12, verse 1.
Right.
Now Yahweh said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house.
Right. He was in the Ur of the Chaldees, and the Lord, all right, telling him that he's separating him. Go ahead.
God says, Unto a land that I will show thee, and I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great.
And make thy name great. Go ahead.
And thou shalt be a blessing.
Right. And thou shalt be a blessing. All right. You read through verse 3?
No.
Go ahead.
Verse 3 it says, And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed.
Right. Shall all families of the earth be blessed. And that started with the elect who was scattered amongst all of these nations, man. But at the end of the day, the mercy that's going to come to the other nations is that they're going to be under a righteous rulership. All right? They're going to be able to finally, the earth is going to be able to flourish under these people, man. The Israelites. They'll never be on our level, all right? But that's sort of a blessing, you know? But the blessing is talking about starting with the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who are scattered amongst all of these nations, man. But once we get established and they serve their captivity, they're going to witness a righteous rulership through the people of the Lord.
That's right. You know, if I may make a
Right.
point real quick, even when you go into that word families in the Hebrew, Strong's H4940, which is mashpacha, all right, which means a clan, family, a tribe, a people, a nation, or aristocrats.
Right, the aristocrats, and that's the Israelites.
That's
Right?
us.
It's the Israelites, the chosen seed. People always want to add the other nations to the covenant. No, the other nations, the goodwill of them within the whole scheme of things, outside of Esau, because Esau is going to be burnt up. He will not be able to enjoy a goddamn thing. So the heathen nations such as Japheth, Moab, all right, once they serve their hardcore captivity, they're going to go to where they be, and they're going to be forced to follow our ways. But we're not going to poison the air. We're not going to poison the water. We're not going to rape their children. We're gonna be leaders in righteousness. So they're going to have to follow a righteous way, which now they're given a go ahead to just eat any goddamn thing: rattlesnakes, rats, all right, badgers, any goddamn thing. And they're just losing their mind, destroying the earth. In our rule, they won't be able to do that.
That's right.
Okay, so if you want to talk about a blessing for them, the good thing that they get out of it is that when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Right.
As long as they do right, as long as they don't go off and don't sin, because they're not going to have the laws written in them. All right, they'll be blessed. As the scripture says, blessed be them that bless thee. But when you go wrong, you don't want to come up to the holy days as is written in the scriptures, you're going to be punished and beaten over the head with a rod of iron. Go ahead, brother.
This is Acts chapter 3, verse 20. I'll start at 24.
That's the spirit
That's
I
what
got
you
down
mean?
right now, bro.
No,
You got it out. You got it, brother.
This is Acts chapter 3, verse 24. It says, yeah, and all the prophets from Samuel and those that follow after, as many as have spoken, have likewise foretold of these days. Verse 25, because we just read Genesis 12 and 3.
Right.
It says, ye are the children of the prophets and of the covenant which the Most High made with our fathers, saying unto Abraham, and in thy seed shall all kindreds of the earth be blessed.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And everything starts with the chosen seed, Israel. All right, go ahead.
When you go into that word kindred, it lines up perfectly with the point that the brother Tazamad brought up. With that word, when you go into that word kindred within that certain scripture, that word is pronounced patrias. And as a definition this brother went into a clan or a tribe. All right, when you read it, it says going back to one progenitor, which we understand it to be Abraham, who bore forth Isaac and Jacob in the 12 tribes, man.
Right.
But as the brother read, it went into the covenants when it said it, man.
Right.
And these Christians will read that and assume that it's talking about everybody.
Everybody.
You know?
Right.
But when you really go into the source and really study, which they're not going to do, they haven't really started technically studying until we started calling them out for their bullshit.
Right.
Excuse my language, but when you go in and go into it, it tells you it comes straight to Israel, man.
Right.
That's right.
The people who the Lord gave his word to.
If I may, just to land back, it says the Israelites was distributed into 12 tribes, descended from the 12 sons of Jacob.
There you go.
These were divided into families, which were divided into houses.
Right.
There you go. So it all starts with the Israelites.
Okay.
That's the people whom the Lord will have at the forefront of righteousness once the kingdom of heaven is established. Nobody else will have the laws written in them outside of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now let's go ahead and get to Genesis 13 and 14. Did we read Genesis 7 and 12 and 7?
Yeah, that was read. Oh, 12 and 7?
Well, I had
12
it.
and 7.
We'll get Genesis 12 and 7, then we'll get Genesis 13 and 14, and read through 16.
All right. I'm back. Go ahead. Okay.
It's Genesis chapter 12, verse 7. It says, and Yahweh appeared unto Abram and said, unto thy seed I will give this land.
This land, Now, part of the promise is that they will get this land. Okay, go ahead.
It says, and there builded he an altar unto Yahweh.
He built an altar.
Right.
Right. So Job is a part of this. He has to be a part of this legacy. Not Esau, man. You people are sad, man. Go ahead.
It says, who appeared unto him.
Right.
And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, and Haion on the east. And there he builded an altar unto Yahweh, and called upon the name of Yahweh.
He called upon the name. You got a lot of people. I think IUIC, what do they say? Well, Abraham didn't know the name. All right, because it says his name wasn't well known. Because there was a bunch of gods in the earth at the time of Abraham. His fathers were worshiping all sorts of gods. All right, but the Most High, the true power was there too. And that's the one who came to him through the Spirit, man. Okay?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Continuing on, verse 9, it says, and Abram journeyed going on still toward the south. Verse 10.
All right, now read through 15 and 16.
Verse 15 and 16?
Yeah.
All right, this is Genesis.
Where are you at? Genesis 13 and what?
Oh, no, 2012.
Yeah, get 13 and 14. Start on
I
14.
got that right here. This is Genesis chapter 13, verse 14. And Yahweh said unto Abraham, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art northward and southward and eastward and westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it.
Right, to thee will I give it. Okay, the Lord is telling this promise to Abraham. All right, now what we're going to find out is that Abraham had 8 children.
That's right.
Ishmael was the firstborn. Did that promise go to him? Now, was Ishmael blessed? Absolutely. Esau was blessed.
Exactly.
All of the nations were blessed, man. But which nation was blessed with the promise of eternal life? It's that seed, man.
Right.
Through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Go ahead.
Come.
Where you at?
I'm in verse 15.
Uh-huh.
For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever.
And to thy seed forever. Okay? Now, go ahead.
Deuteronomy 34 and
17.
4. And Yahweh said unto him, this is the land which I swear unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob, saying, I will give it unto thy seed. I have caused thee to see it with thine eyes, but thou shalt not go over thither. And that's when Moses seen the promised land, but he wasn't able to go in. But the point is that the Lord said, this is the land which I swear unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob.
There you go. All right.
Do
Right.
you mind if I get
Yep.
through
And
something?
then we're going to jump to Genesis 17:1. We'll go read through 9. Go ahead.
Come on, this is just a land back off the brother Tazamar. This is Baruch chapter 2, verse 34. It says, I will bring them again into a land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob,
Mm-hmm.
and they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. That was right.
Come.
There you go. Now let's go Genesis 17:1 through 2.
This is Genesis chapter 17, verse 1. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, and Yahweh appeared to Abraham and said unto him, I am the Almighty Power. Walk before me and be thou perfect. And I will make my
What does
covenant-
that mean? That he would follow those righteous ways.
Right.
All right? Because the laws were oral. They weren't written on stone until the time of Moses.
God.
From Adam all the way up to here, this was an oral tradition passed down through family line, through seed. Okay? And this way wasn't given to each and every seed. There was a particular seed. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, even when you go into Noah, which we had brought up recently in Genesis, the 9th chapter, I was given the Shem. When you go about Noah, when you read about Noah, what does it say? Why did the Lord make a covenant with Noah? He said, thou art perfect in thy generation. You know, and like the elder stated, what made him perfect? It was that word. All right, him, offering sacrifices. He had the word. That was something that was only given.
Right.
You know?
It was blameless, right.
That's right.
And this was given, he believed.
Right.
It wasn't through his works per se. He believed, which is why the Gentiles through faith. That's what links them and Abraham so much, man.
Absolutely.
It was through belief that they would be brought back into the fold and get that promise.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Verse 2. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and the Most High talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations.
Many nations. Go ahead.
And it reads in verse 5, Neither shall thy name anymore be called Abram, which means exalted father, but thy name shall be Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee.
Right, Father. Go ahead.
And I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee.
Kings shall come out of thee. Okay, go ahead.
And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and of thy seed after thee.
And thy seed after thee. All right? And thy seed after thee. And we're going to find out which seed that is.
That's right. That's right.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Thy seed after. Okay. In their generations, for an everlasting covenant to be the power unto thee and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession, and I will be their power. And the Most High said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore, thou and thy seed after thee in their generations.
In their generations. So we're reading here the promise, man. All right? We're reading here the promise. Now, read that. And then jump to verse 15 to 16. Go ahead.
This is Galatians chapter 3, verse 15. Brethren, I speak after the manner of men. Though it be but a man's covenant, yet if it be confirmed,
it was confirmed. Go ahead.
No man disannulleth
Right.
or addeth thereto.
Right. You cannot disannul or add to what we're reading here in Genesis. And this is what the Christian church tries to do. See, this is what the Christian church tries to do. All right. Get Galatians 4 and 28.
The book of Galatians chapter 4, verse 28.
Right.
It says, Now we, brethren, as Isaac was, are the children of the promise.
Children of the promise. Now we're gonna jump to Isaac in a minute. All right, but we're just showing you that when you're reading this in the New Testament, because the book of Galatians is what a lot of these Christians try to run to. The book of Galatians, all right, right before the big council they had in Acts the 15th chapter. This was months before that. It was around, I think, 49 AD or around that time frame, in which at the time of Galatians you had a group called the Judaizers, and what were they doing? They were provoking those newcomers that you got to keep the laws perfectly to get salvation.
That's right, circumcision.
Right. So this is why Paul was going so hard in that letter in Galatians, because it's not through you keeping the laws. Right. Though we established the law, cool, but that's not the end all be all of salvation. Salvation is through predestination, through promise, and through faith in that promise, which is what Abraham had, man, which is why it equates to him. But you cannot change what we're about to read here. So go to getting into Isaac. Go to Genesis 17 and 15 through 16.
This is Genesis chapter 17, verse 15.
Right.
And the Most High said unto Abraham, As for Sarah thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarah,
right,
Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. And I will bless her and give thee a son also of her.
Right.
Yea, and I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations.
Who had Ishmael? Hagar, right? Which we can get that in Galatians, dealing with that. We don't have to get it, but for the sake of time, but it jumps directly to Isaac. See? Yes, Ishmael was blessed, but who was blessed with this covenant, with this promise that was just given to Abraham? Read that again.
Verse 16, and I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. Yea, and I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. And Abraham fell upon his face.
Kings of people shall be of her. Who did she have? Isaac. There you go, Isaac. And who did Isaac have? Jacob and Esau. This is the Bible that we're reading. We're not coming out of our own imagination. We're not going so far left that we're reading the Bible.
That's right, God.
Reading the Bible. You got something?
Just a quick one.
Go ahead.
This is Hebrews chapter 11. I'm going to start at verse 7. Well, just verse 17. By faith, Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac,
Mhm.
and he that had received the promises offered up his only begotten son.
Right.
He had 8 sons, but it says his only begotten son,
There you go.
which shows you it.
Yeah.
Hey man, it was given to Isaac and Jacob. It does not even really it doesn't even go into the other sons other than Ishmael.
Right.
All right. When you read about these scriptures from Old Testament, Apocrypha, New Testament, like we're going into, this goes into the promises that was given to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man.
That's right.
That's the covenant. That's the promise. The Lord doesn't take that away. He doesn't slack concerning that. All right.
And like the brother Prashad put up on a comment board, you can read Genesis 25, 1 through 5 for further going into that. But for the sake of time, we're going to jump to Genesis 26 and 3.
So like Genesis 26 and 3. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. Unto thee and unto thy seed will I give all these countries.
Right. Now, who's he talking? Who's the Lord speaking to? Read up and see if you can find out who he's speaking to.
God, this is the Most High speaking to Isaac.
Isaac. Okay. Go ahead.
It says, I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father.
Go ahead.
It says, like verse 4, and I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven,
Right.
and will give unto thy seed all these countries, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed,
There you go.
because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge.
So through faith, all right, all of our people who are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth are going to be brought back to the heavenly Father. That's right. Okay. The other nations do not have a part in the covenant.
Right.
The other nations will be, all right, at the end of the day, the end all be all is that they're there. They're going to coexist. But the nation that's going to rule and be the dominant race and that's going to have these other nations as subjects is the nation of Israel. All right? Oh, you got some?
No.
Where were we at? Go ahead. You got some?
I was just gonna bring out Romans 9.
Yeah, we're going to get that in just a minute.
Okay, I'll hold it.
We're going to get that in just a minute.
Keep on the same.
Because we're going to get Jacob and then we'll get because that's it. Showing you that the New Testament is nothing but they still believe in the same thing written in the Old Testament, man. You just see this word Gentile. The word Gentile, which we'll get into that in another part, but when you look at the Bible, this is a love story basically between the Most High and his chosen seed. You see, and how he dressed her up, he chose her, he gave us his ways, he chose, gave her a contract of marriage, but then she broke it. So what did he do? He beat her ass, put her in captivity, and cast her off. She didn't no longer bore his name. And she became a Gentile and got scattered all throughout the four corners of the earth. But the Lord promised that he would return understanding, all right? And she would be married back to him through the sacrifice made by his only begotten son. All right, go ahead.
Jordan.
Somebody
I got Jacob's promise, the promises of Jacob.
we got to read some more.
Genesis 26.
Yeah, you read through 5 and then get 24.
Okay. Now I'm gonna jump down to verse 24 in Genesis 26. It says, and Yahweh appeared unto him the same night and said, I am the power of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee.
I am with thee. Where did the Lord go to any of Abraham's other children to say this?
Right.
Go ahead.
I will bless thee and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake.
Right.
And he builded an altar there.
Oh, there go that altar again. There go those sacrifices again.
Right.
But Job was an Edomite. Come on, man.
Yeah. Right.
People are out of your minds, man.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Right. If you're saying that Job is an Edomite, man, you calling the Lord a liar. Right.
Yeah.
It says, and he built an altar there and called upon the name of Yahweh and pitched his tent there. And there Isaac's servants digged a well. And that just goes to show you, like, if Abraham and Isaac both know use the name of the Lord, how did Moses not know how did Moses just change the game to say, I am?
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, even when you go to Genesis 4:26, that's what Seth, and then knowing the name all the way since then.
Yeah.
But what are you talking about?
That's right.
Man? You gotta,
that was
That's right. So Genesis 27 and 28 through 29.
you got it?
Yeah, I don't know. Genesis 27 and 28. It says,
Now we're jumping to Jacob. We're not crazy, right? We're clearly seeing this promise being passed down through this particular seed, right? Okay, go ahead.
Genesis 27 and 28. It says, therefore, the Most High give thee of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine.
All right, this is the blessing that was given to Jacob. Now, when you read this chapter, the same thing was said to Esau. Not fully, because he didn't tell Esau nations will bow to thee and all of that, which we're going to read. But he did say that Esau would have the fatness of the earth. Okay, so there's two nations on the planet Earth that would have control of the full earth at one point in time. That would be Jacob, that would be Esau. Esau is living out his control of the earth right now. He's living out his fatness of the earth. And in that, he's destroying it. It's not bearing forth its fruit. Going back to the curse of Cain, you are cursed from the earth. So the people who are cursed from the earth run the earth. And the earth is not giving forth its strength through their rulership. The earth is going to give forth its strength through the rulership of the seed of Jacob, through the promise of Abraham and Isaac. Go ahead.
And it says, verse 29. Verse 28. Genesis 27 and 28. Therefore, the Most High give thee of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee.
Nations bow down to thee. Okay? This is eternal. Go ahead.
Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee.
Edomites. Who was Jacob's mother? Jacob's mother was Rebecca, and she had Jacob and Esau, right? So what did it say? The elder shall serve the younger. Okay, we cannot take these things out of the Bible and try to establish something with Jesus. We gotta. This is the foundation. This is why we're bringing this out, so that brothers who are watching this, we understand that this is the foundation of the Bible. This is what we stand on. This is at the forefront of our beliefs, starting with the names, of course, of Yahweh Bashem Yahshua. Where you at now?
In the middle of verse 29.
Go ahead.
It says, be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee.
Right. Now, in the kingdom of heaven, when the other nations don't follow our ways, it lets you know in Zechariah that they won't get any rain. All right, but when the nations do good and follow our ways, we ain't gonna just slap them over the head for no reason.
right.
You know, go piss on them. You heathen. No, if you follow them, just like here in America, if you so-called don't go through stoplight, you won't get a ticket. You know?
Yeah.
In the kingdom of heaven, you're not to eat rat. You're not to be a faggot. You're not to molest children. You're not to destroy the land. The earth needs to be taken care of this way. Don't eat no damn rattlesnake. Right? Don't eat no cockroach. Let it do its job in cleaning the earth. Don't eat a pig. Okay, let the pig clean the earth as the Creator intended it to do, and thus you're going to have the law, statutes, and commandments as the top culture, the way of life right, in the earth through the Israelites. Get that in Malachi 4. But go ahead and get that in a minute. But get Genesis 28 and 14.
This is Genesis chapter 28, verse 14. It says,
You might be talking about 13.
Yep.
Okay, verse 13. And behold, Yahweh stood above it and said, I am Yahweh, the power of Abraham, thy father, and the power of Isaac. The land wherein thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed.
Go ahead.
And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south.
Scattered.
And in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed.
Right. There you go. Third Genesis 35. Start at like 9.
Genesis 35 and 9. Genesis 35 and 9, it says, and our power and the Most High appeared unto Jacob again when he came out of Padan Aram, and blessed him. And the Most High said unto him, thy name is Jacob, thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name.
Right. Jacob is the son of Isaac. Okay. Go ahead.
And he called his name Israel.
Yashar Allah. He is the Prince of the Power, which is basically the same title as what? The Son of God, which is what Adam's line will call it, the chosen through Seth, all the way up to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Methuselah, Noah, all of those righteous men were sons of God. Okay, go ahead. On the right-hand side.
Verse 11. And the Most High said unto him, I am the Most High Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee. And kings shall come out of thy loins.
Out of thy loins. Talking about Jacob.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 12. And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, to thee will I give it.
Right. To thee will I give it. To thee will I give it, man. All right. So somebody get Ezekiel 36. Go ahead. Keep reading some more.
Continuing on in verse 12, it says, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed after thee will I give the land. You know, and okay, let me keep reading. It says, and the Most High went up from him in the place where he talked with him, and Jacob set up a pillar in the place where he talked with him, even a pillar of stone, and he poured a drink offering thereon, and he poured oil thereon.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
That tradition, that way was being passed down, man.
Right.
All right. And there's so many scriptures we can go to, but for the sake of time, we're just going to get a few more. But come on, you're seeing clearly the narrative, man.
Right.
Okay. The New Testament is not done away with this promise that we're reading about. Okay. Where we at?
This is Ezekiel 36 and 19.
Right.
And I scattered them among the heathen.
Right. Didn't he tell Jacob his seeds will be dispersed pretty much? Go ahead.
And they were dispersed through the countries according to their way and according to their doings. I judged them.
Right. They became Gentiles. Okay. Because eventually through Moses, that line got the laws written on stone. And they broke that contract. That was the first covenant. Though we understand there was covenants given to Adam, Noah, Shem, so to speak, but we're talking about the covenants of basically the laws.
Deuteronomy
28, yeah. Go ahead.
And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries according to their way and according to their doings. I judged them. And then when they entered unto the heathen, whether they went, they profaned my holy name. And when they said to them, these are the people of the Lord, and are gone forth out of his land.
Right. When you read Corinthians, when you read Galatians, these were Israelites who had polluted his name through following after these different idols and gods. But through faith, through the hearing of the word, through faith, they were brought back into the fold, man. Go ahead.
This is verse 21. But I had pity for my holy name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathen, whither they went.
Right. That's when we became Gentiles. Go ahead.
Therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus saith the Lord power. I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel, but for mine holy name's sake, which ye have profaned among the heathen which ye went. And I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them. And the heathen shall know that I am Yahweh, saith the Lord Yahweh, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes.
Before their eyes. That's how all nations, what did it say to Abraham? In thee shall all the nations, the kindreds of the earth be blessed.
Right.
See that? It's all coming together. Guys.
It's good.
No, I get it. Get what you got. I get it. It's a story that, it's a puzzle that only a spiritual man could either hear or teach. You know, and the Christian church, you know, hey, we're up to the challenge, because now you're finally being forced with going into the Bible. But what we're finding out is that you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Right, right.
Go ahead.
This is First Kings, and this is when Solomon is praying to the Lord. All right, this is his prayer. This is First Kings chapter 8, verse 41. Moreover, concerning the stranger that is not of thy people, but cometh out of a far country for thy name's sake, for they shall hear of thy great name, and of thy strong hand, and of thy stretched out arm, when he shall come and pray towards this house. That's how the Lord is going to hear this voice. Praying to the east of this far country that we've been driven. And these heathen that are over here, they're all, I mean, you know, they're witnessing the word. It says, for they shall hear of thy great name, and of thy strong hand, and I just read it. Verse 43, hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and do according to all that the stranger calleth unto thee for, that all people of the earth may know that thy name, to fear thee, that they may know that this house which I have built is called by thy name, and that's what's being built right now. I'm going to jump down to verse 47. Yet if they shall bethink themselves, which means remember, in the land whither they were carried captive, and repent and make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carried them captive, saying, we have sinned and have done perversely, we have committed wickedness, and so return unto thee with their heart and with their soul in the land of their enemies, was let them away captive, and pray unto thee toward the land which thou gavest unto their fathers, the city thou hast chosen, and the house which I have built for thy name. So if I may, when you go into that, he's clearly telling us, like we read in Ezekiel 36, we pray unto him, he's going to turn his face back toward us, because he made that covenant with us. The Lord does not slack concerning his promise. All right. And this was given to Solomon right here. Solomon prayed for this, and the Lord had answered him right afterward and said, granted, you know, and ultimately we know it goes all the way back to the establishments of the earth anyway, because it was already written. But what we're doing through the Spirit is we're fulfilling this, man. These dusty Negroes that you all see out here with these garments on preaching, man, this is what the scripture said we was going to be doing, man. This is the word. This was the promise that the Heavenly Father had promised to us, man. And it's being fulfilled, man.
Okay. Go keep reading where you at, Ezekiel.
Okay. Come. This is Ezekiel chapter 36, and I'm going to read verse 23. And I will sanctify my great name, which was profane among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them. And the heathen shall know that I am Yahweh, saith the Lord power, which I have sanctified in you before their eyes. For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries, and will bring you into your own land.
And bring you into your own land. Isn't that the promise to that seed?
Right.
Right there. That's the new covenant. Go ahead.
Verse 25. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean. From all your filthiness and from all your idols will I cleanse you. A new heart.
Which made us Gentiles. Get that in 1 Corinthians 12:2 real quick. 1 Corinthians 12:2 real quick. Let's read that again. He said, what about the idols?
He says, then I will sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all your filthiness and from all your idols.
From all your idols. Read that.
1 Corinthians 12:2. Ye know that ye were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols.
That's what made us Gentiles.
Right.
The nation of Israel scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, going off into these different philosophies, made them castaways, right? You know? So the Lord is going to cleanse us from that, starting with the remnant by what? Go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 26. A new heart also will I give unto you, and a new spirit will I put in you. And I will take away that stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you an heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit within you, and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them.
There you go. So that's the new covenant right there, man.
That's right.
Fulfilling the promise, and the Lord's going to put us back in our land. And from that land, we're going to rule with the law, statutes, and commandments, and have the heathen nation under our foot. That's right. Point blank, period, man.
That's right.
Yep. Romans 9, and then we can wrap it up.
This is Romans 9. When you start at verse 6.
Yeah, wherever you
come. This is get to the point. Romans 9, verse 6. It says, not as though the word of the Most High have taken none effect.
Bam. Go ahead.
Acts 7 verse 4.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Romans 9 verse 4, who are Israelites to whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of the Most High, and the promises.
Right.
Verse 5, it says, who...
Can you, I'm slacking. Could you read verse 3, Baba Kashan?
Come. I'll start again.
Okay.
This is Romans 9 and 1. I say the truth in Yahweh Mashiach, I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Spirit. Verse 2, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. Verse 3, for I could wish that myself were accursed from Hamashiach for my brethren.
Right. When Paul stated, he said, I wish of myself being accursed. He's comparing himself to pretty much wishing he was on the cross like Yahushua. You read it in Acts 5, it says, cursed is the man that hangs from a tree, right? All right, so Paul is clearly saying that I wish I could make myself accursed. For what? For who? Just like Yahushua, right? Because these people like to say Yahushua died for everybody. But Paul said, I wish I could be accursed like that. For who?
My kinsmen, according to the flesh. It says, verse 4, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption.
Real quick. And him also making himself want to be accursed. Who else said that, man? Moses said that. In Exodus 32nd chapter, he's like, man, block me out of the book of life so that pretty much Israel will be good and pretty much not be destroyed, man.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
So it's only to Israel, man. Point blank, period. Go ahead.
Come. It says, verse 4 again, who are Israelites to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of the Most High and the promises.
Showing you that Paul didn't come to change anything.
That's right.
Paul's office was to go and preach the word amongst the Gentiles, the heathen, who were Israelites, who had been carried away by those dumb idols.
That's
And
right.
through the preaching of the word, they put off of those dumb idols, man. They cast them away as a minstrel's cloth, man, when they saw their teachers, man. Just like we did.
Right.
Same thing applies. Go ahead.
Come. It says who are the fathers and whom is concerning the flesh Hamashiach came.
Right. He came to adopt. When you look up the word adopt, it's to reestablish that relationship, man.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Come. It says
If I may say real quick, what you just said, that's why he said, I have espoused you to one husband.
Right.
You know, and Israel is likened unto a commonly delicate woman.
Right.
To the eyes of the heavenly fathers, right?
We're promised to the Lord, man. We're espoused, but that is going to be finalized
Right.
when Mashiach comes.
That's right.
That's right. And we're virgins through predestination.
Man.
Go ahead.
quick, you said?
Yep.
Matthew 1 and 21. And he shall bring forth the son, and thou shalt call his name Yahushai, for he shall save his people from their sins.
That's right.
It says
that links with Acts 5 and 30. Go ahead.
that's right. It says Romans 9 and let's see, verse 5 again. Whose are the fathers, and of whom is concerning the flesh Hamashiach came, who is over all, the Most High blessed forever. Amen. That's wow. Verse 6, not as though the word of the Most High had taken not effect.
Right.
For they are all Salakia, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel.
Right. Because though the Israel will be as the sand of the sea, only a remnant shall be saved.
Right.
Okay, that's written. Go ahead.
Come, verse 7. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children,
Right, because Abraham had 8 children. Go ahead.
but in Isaac shall thy
Woo,
seed
that's
be called.
In
Right.
Isaac shall thy seed be called. But it's going to keep going.
Come.
All right, go
It
ahead.
says, verse 8, that is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children. So these are not the children of the Most High,
Right, go ahead.
but the children of the promise
Right.
are counted for the seed.
Right, we have to be of that promise. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 9, for this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son,
Mhm.
which we went in Genesis 17.
Right.
All right. Verse 10, and not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived.
Not only this, see, T.D. Jakes, remember he just stopped at Abraham.
Right.
Not only this, T.D.
Yeah, that's right.
He just excluded everything.
Right, which means to destroy Jakes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's right. It says, not Salakia, Romans 9 and 10. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, verse 11, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, the that the purpose of the Most High according to the election might stand,
Right.
not of works, but of him that called.
Not of works, just going back to Abraham,
Right.
but of him that called, man. It wasn't through Abraham's works. It wasn't through Isaac's works. It wasn't through Jacob. It was through predestination, man. And Abraham had faith. All right, in the unknown, he was just like, all right.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what we're doing through the Spirit, man.
Right.
Anybody else got it?
Okay,
Go ahead.
this is Romans 10 and 17. So then faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Most High.
That's right.
The Most High spoke to Abraham about these things. He just believed.
That's it. That's right. That's right. And that's how the mystery was given unto Peter. When the keys was given unto Peter, man, you know, Yahweh asked Peter that question, who am I, Simon Bar-Jonah? He said, you are the Messiah. You know what I'm saying? He said, flesh and blood have not given it unto you. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much with your faith. That's right. You know, because you believed.
And Abraham received the covenants and the promises while he was uncircumcised.
While he was uncircumcised.
Exactly.
And we're going to start getting more and more into these topics. We just want to establish that.
Yeah.
It's just those basics need to be established when going forth. So the Christian church, anybody who's, you know, if you want to talk about the Bible, we're not going to leave these things out.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
we're
right.
going to go into those things.
That's right.
You can't separate this from Paul, from the Hamashiach. You can't do it. You simply can't do it, man.
That's right.
So we established that, you know, Lord willing, we'll go into more in the coming days through the Spirit. We hope you are edified, so give all praise to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ruach HaKodesh.
Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.